room. And I know with some reporters and some of the media members asking the kid, saying, "Hey, you know what? How do you endear yourself to teammates more?" I don't know if there's ever really an answer. I mean, you can go out and try to be the best player you can be. That's one way to do it. Personally speaking, I think another great way to do it is buying everybody pizza, because who likes pizza? Everybody, right? Everybody loves pizza. Let's go back to the phones here. Let's go to Brent. Brent is online. Was there any volatility in the standings across the NHL tonight? Well, let's take a look at some of the final scores to find out. The Capitals had their hands full with the Wild. Washington pulls one out in a nail-biter. The Lightning played a game against the Bruins. Tampa Bay triumphed easily in this one. The Hurricanes took to the road to match up with the Sabres. Buffalo powers through in a tight one. We got to take a quick break, but we got a lot more coming your way next. All right, let's go around the horn and see what happened elsewhere around the NHL tonight. The Blackhawks went toe-to-toe on the road against the Kraken. Seattle tested their skills in the shootout, and they passed the test brilliantly. The Flyers faced off with the Blues. Philadelphia played about as good as they have all year long defensively, and they pick up the clean sheet shutout win. The Rangers were hoping to play spoiler against the Predators. The New York Rangers took this one with a strong defensive effort in their own end. Lots more puck talk coming your way, and we'll get to it next. Let's check in on some of the final scores across the league tonight. The Blue Jackets were in a dogfight on the road up against the Red Wings. Detroit proved to be a little too much to handle in this night. The Kraken paired up with the Jets. Seattle toughs one out and pick up the win. The Preds were hoping to grab 2 points up against the Sharks. San Jose plays the role of destroyer in the win. We are as cool as ice, and we are bringing you many more stories from the NHL. We're doing it next. All right, at this time, let's get you caught up on all the action on the ice tonight. The Sharks took on the Kings. Los Angeles turns in a strong defensive effort, enough to preserve the win. The Kraken paired up with the Oilers. Edmonton pressed on, always persevered, and they get the win. The Penguins were looking to grab points on the road against the Stars. Dallas terrorizes the opposition with a big goal-scoring night in the win. The story on the ice continues in a moment. All right, let's take a look at some of the final scores in the league tonight. The Caps were hoping their offense would show up in a big way against the Lightning. Tampa partied it up with a big offensive display. The Red Wings were hoping to fly high on the road against the Canadiens. Montreal tore it up, and did they ever in the extra frame, winning in overtime. The Cats were in tough with the Coyotes. Arizona played one of their strongest defensive games of the year, and they get the win. We got a jam-packed show. We've got a lot more stuff we got to get to, so don't even think about going anywhere. Stay with us. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and what went down tonight on the ice. The Bruins had a tall order to fill as they tried to take 2 on the road. Great night to be on the couch and watching hockey. Tons of scores around the league. Let's take a look at what went down. The Islanders took to the ice to lock up with the Capitals. Washington picks apart their opponents surgically with the win. The Avs were hoping to come up with 2 points on the road against the Panthers. Colorado takes this one in a tightly contested affair. The Oilers were looking to steal 2 against the Sharks. San Jose played great defensively, but it was an extra special performance in goal as they get the shutout win. We got to take a quick pause for the cause, but we got a lot more coming up on the other side. Stay with us. Okay, everybody, let's take a quick look at some of the final scores around the league tonight. The Lightning played on the road against the Capitals. Tampa turns in one of their stronger efforts of the year and pick up the win. This wasn't the only game in the league tonight. Let's get you caught up on some of the other finals. The Blue Jackets were hoping to take a bite out of the Oilers. Columbus plastered their opponents with a big offensive output. The Knights took to the ice to battle the Kings. Vegas taps into another gear and pick up the 2 points in the win. We'll check the inbox, we'll check the text line, and hear what you have to say next. Let's take a look at the rest of the action on the ice tonight in the National Hockey League. The Capitals were looking to steal 2 points against the Oilers. Washington proves to be a little too much on this night, and they pick up the 2 points. Hey, with this one all said and done, let's get you caught up on some of the other final matchups in the league tonight. The Flames faced off against the Lightning. Tampa tightened it up late when they needed to most, and they pick up the 2 points. The Blue Jackets took to the ice for a collision with the Kings. Los Angeles pummels the opposition with a strong offensive output. Don't go anywhere. We've got much more here on the show. Let's take a look around the league and some of the final scores out there tonight. The Pens had an on-ice collision with the Capitals. Pittsburgh toast. You know, I want to bring it back to him for just a second here. When you look at trying to project who's going to win what awards this season, I'll say this. I think you're looking at the leading candidate for the Lady Byng Award. You know, most gentlemanly player. And it's not to suggest he's soft. He plays hard. He competes. He's not dirty. Goes out there and delivers. Right? That's a guy you can trust out there. I think that's why he's earned a lot of respect from his teammates as well. But I think if I'm going to pencil in a winner right now, I'm going to lean towards him to claim the Lady Byng Award. All right, we'll take some of your predictions. Phones are wide open right now. Busy night of action on the ice. Let's take a look at some of the finals that are in from tonight. The Blue Jackets were on the road to take on the Capitals. Washington pulls this one out in a game that went right down to the finish. Hey, this wasn't the only stop in the National Hockey League tonight. Elsewhere around the league, the Hawks look to run roughshod over the Avalanche. Colorado tightened it up in their own end, and as a result, they get the payoff with a shutout win. The Penguins were on the road up against the Panthers. Florida perseveres in this one, and they get the victory. A very special guest drops by on the show, and we'll do that next. All right, well, some fun, some drama, a little bit of everything on the ice tonight. Let's take a look at some of those scores around the league. The Blue Jackets were in a dogfight on the road against the Capitals. Columbus pops like popcorn in this one, and they skate away with the win. The Senators took to the road to match up with the Sabres. Ottawa technically superior in this one, and they skate away with the victory. The Wild played a game against the Devils. New Jersey pulverizes their opponents with a strong offensive display. Lots more still to come, including the story in MMA, the hardwood, and more. Stay with us. I think we can all agree. We like how he plays. We like the skill set. But you have got to play with a little more fire, a little more compete. You gotta turn that care meter up. Like, find that dial that goes to 11, Well, busy night in the National Hockey League. Let's see what happened elsewhere on the ice. The Capitals battled it out against the Flames. Calgary tightens it up when they needed to most late, and they get the win. Hey, we've got some other final scores we want to get you caught up with around the league, and we'll do that now. The Flyers were on the road to take on the Maple Leafs. Toronto posts the 2 points after coming up clutch in the skills competition in the shootout. The Jets had their hands full with the Blackhawks. Chicago tucks home the shootout winner, and they skate off with the extra point. We got to take a quick break, everybody, but we've got a lot more to get to. Stay with us. Time to take a look at what happened around the league as we check in on some of the scores. The Kings took to the road to match up with the Capitals. Washington pulverized the competition with this one. No shortage of action in the National Hockey League. Let's take a look at elsewhere what went down. The Sharks went toe-to-toe on the road against the Blues. St. Louis takes this one with a strong effort at both ends of the ice. The Blue Shirts faced off with the Devils. The New York Rangers took this one with a strong defensive effort in their own end. Time for a quick break, but we got a lot more coming up on the ice next. Hey, no shortage of action and drama on the ice tonight. Let's take a look at what happened elsewhere. The Sabres were hoping to play spoiler against the Capitals. Washington took this one with a strong game at both ends of the ice. The Flames were in a dogfight on the road up against the Kraken. Calgary. Now let's take a look at some of the rest of the action tonight in the NHL. The Flyers were hoping to grab 2 points up against the Capitals. Washington taps into another gear and they get the win. The Flames took on the Blues. St. Louis proves to be too much in the extra frame. The Stars were looking to grab points on the road against the Panthers. Dallas topples their opponents with a strong offensive effort. Hey, we got to pay a couple of bills here, but we got a lot more action we got to get to. Stay with us. All right, lots of wild happenings on the ice tonight. Let's take a look at some of the scores of what went down. The Flyers were hoping their offense would show up in a big way against the Canadiens. Montreal posts the win in a tightly contested affair. The Leafs were hoping to fly high on the road against the Penguins. Toronto takes this one thanks to a strong defensive effort. The Jets were in tough with the Flames. Calgary played a sound defensive game and pick up the regulation win. Hey, a few more hot-button issues we got to get to. It's a jam-packed show tonight. Stick around. Those were pretty pointed comments from the coaching staff to say, hey, look, you need to tighten it up on the ice. You are way too undisciplined out there. We've tried to talk to you about this, and you're not getting the message. I don't know what's next, but I would think that maybe some playing time that could be shaped. All right, at this time, everyone, we'll catch you up on what went down in all the action in the league tonight. The Panthers had a tall order to fill as they tried to take two on the road against the Red Wings. Detroit takes this one in a fun one. The Sharks took to the ice to lock up with the Ducks. Anaheim posts a victory thanks to a strong offensive display. The Wild played on the road against the Avalanche. Minnesota turns in a complete effort, and it's enough to pick up the win. Hey, we got to take a quick pause for the cause, but we got a lot more on the other side. Don't even think about leaving us. Well, let's take a look at how the standings were impacted with some of the final scores around the league tonight. The Caps were hoping to come up with 2 points on the road against the Rangers. Washington played pad the stats night, winning easily. The Senators were looking to steal 2 against the Maple Leafs. Toronto takes this one in a nail-biter. The Coyotes were hoping to take a bite out of the Avalanche. Arizona played a strong game at both ends of the ice, and as a result, they get the win. Lots more to get to on the ice. Stay with us, everybody. Was there any volatility in the standings across the NHL tonight? Well, let's take a look at some of the final scores to find out. The Capitals took to the ice to battle the Devils. New Jersey tramples the opposition with a big offensive night. The Sabres were looking to steal 2 points against the Canadiens. Buffalo proves to be too much to handle in this one as they find a way to pick up the OT win. The Isles faced off against the Panthers. Florida tops the opposition in a fun one. Don't even think about touching that dial or touching that button. We've got plenty more on the ice, and that's next. All right, let's go around the horn and see what happened elsewhere around the NHL tonight. The Rangers took to the ice for a collision with the Wild. The New York Rangers toughed this one out, and they get the 2 points. The Jets had an on-ice collision with the Golden Knights. Vegas tore it up. Seemed like almost everybody got on the score sheet in the win. Let's check in on some of the final scores across the league tonight. The Islanders were on the road to take on the Canucks. The New York Islanders terrorized the opposition with a magical offensive display. The Sabres looked to run roughshod over the Senators. Ottawa tested their mettle in this one, but they still come away with the win. The Jets were on the road up against the Kraken. Seattle pitches a shutout in this one. We got to take a quick break, but we got a lot more coming your way next. All right, at this time, let's get you caught up on all the action on the ice tonight. The Sabres were hoping to quiet the crowd on the road against the Flyers. Philadelphia terrific in the shootout, and they get the extra point. The Islanders were in a dogfight on the road against the Wild. The New York Islanders terrific in overtime, and they get the winner and 2 points to go with it. The Oilers took to the road to match up with the Coyotes. Edmonton takes this one in a shootout victory and come away with the 2 points. Lots more puck talk coming your way, and we'll get to it next. All right, let's take a look at some of the final scores in the league tonight. The Capitals battled it out against the Senators. Washington plastered the opposition with a big-time night offensively. There were other games beyond just this one here in the NHL tonight. Let's get you caught up on some of those finals. The Rangers were on the road to take on the Penguins. Pittsburgh toughed this one out, and they get the win. The Kings had their hands full with the Ducks. Anaheim played pad the stats night en route to the victory. We are as cool as ice, and we are bringing you many more stories from the NHL. We're doing it next. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and what went down tonight on the ice. The Wings took to the road to match up with the Capitals. Washington tapped into another gear late, and they pick up the victory. The Sens went toe-to-toe on the road against the Canadiens. Montreal posts an impressive win in a tightly contested affair. The Sharks faced off with the Coyotes. San Jose takes this one in a tightly contested affair and the bragging rights to go with it. The story on the ice continues in a moment. The whole narrative and the expression being good in the room, right? Chemistry is important with a team. How many times have we seen teams that are absolutely stacked with talent and they fall apart? Why? Because there was just a disconnect within the room. And I know with some reporters and some of the media members asking the kid, saying, hey, you know what, why, how do you endear yourself to teammates more? I don't know if there's ever really an answer. I mean, you can go out and, try to be the best player you can be. That's one way to do it. Personally speaking, I think another great way to do it is buying everybody pizza. Because, who likes pizza? Everybody, right? Everybody.